Hi everyone, we are going to continue today the summary of Discover Canada book, which for preparation for Canadian citizenship test. We will speak today about two things, which are rights of citizenship and responsibilities of citizenship. So whenever you have the citizenship, you will have some rights and also you will have some responsibilities. Okay, the rights are coming from different sources. So it is actually coming from three different sources. Number one, number two, and number three. And the first one coming from a document from the England Constitution or England law, which is called Magna Carta, and also known as the Great Charter of Freedom. It's coming from the British law, Great Charter of Freedom. Okay, and this is actually the basic represents the basic the basic freedoms or the basic rights. So if you have a question in the exam asking about the basic rights, so speaking about the rights from the Magna Carta. If they are asking about the Canadian rights, so it will be source number three. We are going to speak about it just a few minutes from now. Okay, so the Magna Carta has four basic rights. First right will be conscience and religion. So you are free to select your religion and to practice your religion as long as you don't do anything against the law, or you don't harm the environment, or you don't harm the Canadian heritage. That's all. Second thing will be thoughts, belief, opinion, and expression, and this is also including speech and press. So you are free to express your thoughts, your beliefs, or your opinion as long as you respect the Canadian law. Okay. Third basic right will be peaceful assembly. So you can make any assembly for objection or for supporting an idea or anything, as long as you also obey the law and you don't harm the Canadian environment or the Canadian rules. Okay, and the last basic right will be association. So you are free to associate yourself to any party, associate yourself to any group, as long as the group actually respecting also the Canadian law. So it's, in all cases, should be something legal. It shouldn't be illegal or against the law. This can be acceptable, but if it's something legal, so you are free to choose which party or which group to associate yourself to. Okay, so this is the first source of rights, which will the Magna Carta, which is a document coming from the British Constitution or the British law, which has another name. It is Great Charter of Freedom. The second source of rights will be the habeas corpus. Habeas corpus is actually Latin names from the Latin language, and this provides only one right, which is the challenge of unlawful detention. So no one should be ask you to be detained, or you make any detention which is a lawful one. So you have to be make sure that if in case of any unlawful detention, this is against the law, and you can make an objection on you refuse this for sure. Okay, so rights to challenge unlawful detention by the state or by the police or government or anything. Okay, and also this is coming from the English common law. So it's still coming from the English common law. Again, after the people in Canada just built their country and they settled in Canada, they found that they need to add some more rights, which is a Canadian rights or Canadian document called Canadian Charter of Rights. Canadian Charter of Rights. And this added to the Constitution or Canadian Constitution in 1982. And it began with a very famous sentence, and this sentence can come in the exam in the multiple choice. So the Canadian Charter of Rights will begin with and just give you options. And the sentence say, whereas Canada is founded upon principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law. For sure, you don't have to memorize the whole sentence. Just remember something, a key word, which will be here, for example, supremacy of God and the rule of law. So this will be in the options. You will not change this. So if you found this in the options, this will be the one you have to select. Okay, so the supremacy of God and the rule of law. Okay, so two things actually regulate Canadians. Religion, which is supremacy of God, and the law, which will be the Canadian law. Okay. The second, under this, actually, the Canadian Charter of Rights, we have four Canadian rights, and they are actually related to the Canadian nature or the Canadian culture. So the first one is the mobility rights. For sure, Canada is a very big country. It is not actually a country; it's a continent, because it has a massive land. So the mobility rights say if you are a Canadian, you can live or work anywhere in Canada. So you can move from province to another without any problem. You can change your work at any time. You can change your your home at any time. That's fine. So you have this mobility rights. The second rights for sure is Aboriginal people rights, because before coming the European come to Canada, there was some people actually living in Canada, which we will call them Aboriginal people. We are going to speak about them in details later. But they have also some rights, and you have to respect their rights and their like their need to be in Canada and to respect them and their rights on the land. Okay. The third right, which the third Canadian rights, will be the official language rights, because actually in Canada we have two official language, not only one. The English for the majority, and we have the minority which speak French. And the official language rights just say we should respect both language, and the government should provide their service in both language. So if you go to any government office, you can speak French, you can speak English at in any place in Canada. So this is actually the official language rights and minority language educational rights. Okay. And the last thing for sure, which is very important and everyone knows that, is multiculturalism. So in Canada is multicultural. So people coming from everywhere just migrating to Canada. So we have to respect the multiculturalism. We have respect to different aspects of people, different viewpoints of people, and so on. So we have 4 rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights. Okay, again, so just to summarize, we have 3 sources. Magna Carta provides 4 basic rights: conscience and religion, thoughts and beliefs, peaceful assembly and association. We have 1 right coming from the English common law. It's called habeas corpus, the challenge of unlawful detention. And we have 4 added rights for the Canadian environment, which is mobility rights, Aboriginal people rights, official language and minority language rights, and multiculturalism, which is related actually to Canada specific, these 4 rights. And one important thing also to know, that in Canada, men and women are equal under the law. So there is no distinction between a man and woman. Both has the same rights and same rule and under the law. Okay. This is actually summarize the rights of citizenship. And now we will move to next point, second point, which will be citizenship responsibilities. Whenever you have the citizenship, what you have to do or what responsibility you should provide based on the citizenship. First thing for sure will be obeying the Canadian law. So you have to respect the law. And one important thing, which is very unique for developed countries or like when we say a good government or a good country, is no person or group is above the law. Even the like the prime minister or the sovereign himself, like the king, no one or no person or group is above the law. Everyone is equal under the law, and everyone has his own rights. And if, for example, if you have a dispute between you and a police officer, or between you and the prime minister, the law will not just, you will just get your rights if you have rights. So there is no one above the Canadian law. The second thing for sure is taking responsibility for oneself and one family. And one, like you have to provide a place for residency, like a home, and you have to find a job. You have to be able to feed your kids and find a good school for them, good education, and all the stuff. The third thing was serving in a jury, which is something special in Canada and USA. So if there is a trial, the judge may be asking for a group of people, civilian, normal people, to come to the trial and like act as witness, or to witness the trial, and to give their own opinion. And if you are asking to serve in a jury, it is legally required to respect this and to go to the jury and serve whenever called. Okay. And the fourth responsibility will for sure be voting in election. So you are responsible to vote, so you can select the best candidate to represent Canadian in the parliament or in the government, on the government level, even in both federal election and also election on the province level. And we are going to speak about the election system later during our videos. And number 5 will be for sure helping other in the community. And there's a very common concept and well-known concept in Canada, which is volunteering, which you have to help people and you help others serve in different places without money, just for volunteering and to help the Canadian community. Okay, and the last thing is protecting for sure and enjoying our heritage and environment. So you have to take care of the environment, you have to take care of the public places, you have to take care of the common areas which shared between Canadians, and you don't even try to like destroy or make any harm to these places. Okay. One important thing also in Canada, the military service is optional. It is not mandatory. So you have to decide by yourself if you'd like to serve in the army or not. So this is something optional. It is not mandatory. This is also an important point. It can come as true or false or as multiple choice. Okay. So now we have just done our lesson. So we spoke about two things: the rights of citizenship and the citizenship responsibility. And next time we will speak about who we are, or the main people actually living in Canada, the group of people living in Canada. We just categorize them and see different categorization. Okay, thank you and see you next time.